are you guys all in agreement with teaching 3 and 4-year-olds this type of material?
What's going on? It's your boy DJ T Walk, and right now you're locked in the field with my family from afar, my boys, the Track Stars. Stay right here. Holla.
Yeah, back in the field with the Track Stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Once again, this episode is brought to you by Audible.com. Make sure you go to audibletrial.com/trackstars. Get a free book on us. If you're not hip to the Audible thing, man, I am loving it. I am waiting on my next book. I have I did the trial as well. So you get a book a month if you there's 2 different versions. But it's awesome, man. I just finished reading through the what is that man's name? I always forget his name. Not Bill Gates, the other one. Steve Jobs. I just finished reading through the Steve Jobs biography.
You get to
you in my head right
You get to pick your 2 books.
You get to pick your book.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So you pick whatever you want. If you want to start with that one, I suggested, man, if you're an artist, you need to learn the business. So there's a lot of stuff on how to build a brand and all that kind of stuff. So make sure you check that out. And also go to our website, trackstars.co, to do something like my man right here did. So this is noteworthy. Says, hey Track Stars, longtime listener. It's Tony from Toronto, Canada. I don't really care if this is anonymous or even if it's the noteworthy segment or somewhere else in the show. Just curious to hear your guys' thoughts on this. So in Ontario, the province I live in, kind of like our state, there's been a lot of controversy about the new sex ed program that is going to be implemented. It plans on educating children starting from grade 1 about body parts and all the basics. But by grade 3 and 4, it introduces topics like gender identity, boy, girl, boy who thinks they're a girl, girl who thinks they're a boy, etc. Sexual orientation, and there is a heavy emphasis throughout all the years of sex ed to be focused on homosexuality and equality, which definitely needs to be addressed in our society. I personally love everyone equally because God's love is so overwhelming, it's awesome. But I remember learning all of these things at a much older age and understanding who I was. And one of the biggest criticisms for this new program is that it can influence little children to be confused. There is something that's been a big topic of prayer and conversation in our church, especially because we got a lot of little kids and babies here. I have 3 little sisters alone. There's a bunch more you can read about it, and I suggest you do. I don't know how sex ed is taught in the States, so this could be an interesting political conversation too. All right, what you think, sex ed?
Do they still do sex ed? I heard they don't do sex ed no more
we have health
in the United States. Is that true?
Well, who's been in high school the most recent? Ciara.
Oh.
Microphone, please. Did you have to do sex ed?
No, we didn't have sex ed at my school. We had health, which is still, we talk about diseases, and sex is basically sex.
So sex ed, yeah.
But they call it health.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But you had a sex ed day in health.
Yeah, like they talked to us about sex and diseases, and they showed us disease pictures and stuff. Yeah.
But how specific was it?
That was you.
They talked about all the specific diseases and stuff.
But not body parts and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, I think they
that
did.
Was me,
but it's called health because we also learned about food, nutrition, and we went running every week.
Okay. So was it similar to this? Did they talk about homosexuality?
No, we didn't talk about homosexuality.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I can't remember. That was a long time ago. So.
Oh Lord.
I mean, we didn't.
Your age.
I know we had it. But I don't know
in 8th grade. Yeah, we had something in 8th grade, but it wasn't. It was kind of like more of a cartoon more so than it was. It was illustration. It was illustration. It wasn't actually people on a video or anything like that.
I don't think anybody gets that, right?
Well,
like a video of people.
I'm just saying it was more of an illustration, and it was pretty weird, man. I mean, I don't know. I think that's something that people are assuming the parents and families will have to go over at this point because it's introduced at such an early age.
No. I mean, because
if you went to 8th grade, you're done. You're too late. Seriously.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Well, I think dealing with what the note is saying is that I think the difference is now they're trying to make everything, of course, dealing with same sex. Like you have to explain that to a kid, like that's normal. This is this. And that's what he's kind of asking our opinion about, because health in general, like I said, I had a health class. Inside my health class, we had sex ed, and then I know when I was in high school, I'll tell y'all this behind the scenes. So Periscope, you're gonna get exclusive when we get off. But I ain't gonna say it because I don't want nobody to
Y'all had actors coming to class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Encourage him.
no, that's not what happened. That's just me and Ryan Righteous. So I would say, I think that's the question he's asking us is he asking us that, is this wrong, or how do you deal with that? Because at the end of the day, you can't really tell somebody like they can't, because does that violate church and they don't do church and state in Canada, do they?
I don't know,
Well,
but first grade is kind of young, right? I remember it being in 7th grade.
It used to be, but I will say now they are starting out a lot earlier, even like with day schools and stuff, because I know with the academy that I used to work with, they were being challenged. Their curriculum was being challenged as a Christian school, because they want to start integrating, stories that talk about children with 2 moms and 2 dads, and even the whole gender confusion thing at that age, because the children are being confronted with stuff like that at that age, and they don't want, people to feel discriminated against. That's the reality of it. So I see why that stuff is being taught, but as to whether or not it should or shouldn't be taught, I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like you can really legislate what's being taught in the school, but it definitely places a greater weight on the family and what they're teaching the children, because that has to be like the first and primary teaching that's going forth for the child.
Are you, round robin wise, are you guys all in agreement with teaching 3 and 4-year-olds this type of material?
In
To
the
some
world,
extent.
yeah. I mean, in the world we live in, I feel like they're going to be exposed to it very early. So I'm praying now for discernment. We don't have children yet, but I'm praying that I can stay in front of it as much as possible. If it means at 3 or 4, then it means at 3 or 4. I'm praying it doesn't, but I would rather they hear stuff like that from me first than from their school.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, my daughter watched Scandal the other night, so
Lord.
we got to start her.
You mean the episode with her going back to the president?
I'm kidding. Yeah, she wasn't. I was changing her.
I didn't watch it either. My bad.
No, I was changing her, man.
You knew a lot of information, brother. Somebody thinking like, that's what happened? Thanks. That's it.
No, I was changing her, and I had it on the television, and when I left her room, I was like, oh, yeah, put your TV off. But it was like, you don't know what they're picking up when they see these things. Just as easy as they can say car, they can say something else.
Yeah.
Me and my wife use a lot of slang in the household, not cursing, but just like slang. Mm-hmm. And one day we heard her repeat it. We were like, oh, no, don't go to school saying that. I had a friend who had to come pick her daughter up from school because she couldn't stop saying, call the popo. Call the popo. And she just kept saying it. And they were like, you got to come get her. She just won't stop saying it. And so they had to literally remove that child, because all the other kids are hearing, you go home and you get in the car, Mommy, what's called a popo? And everybody's like, where did you learn that? Well, this little girl was saying it in school today. You just got to answer for that.
Well, here's the problem. Who gets to choose who gets to teach my kid about sex? Because how do you know they're not putting their own little spin on it?
Well, it's the same way where you try to say who gets to spank my child or discipline my child. It really should just be you.
Nobody can, in the school system, they've already handled the spanking thing, right? So
that doesn't happen anymore.
You can't just go around spanking kids, right? But you can tell them about sex, which is kind of weird.
You can. I don't know if they're telling them about it. I think
they are.
I don't think they're. I don't know. That's weird to me, because at some point, I think a parent should be able to say, I don't want my child.
Well, I think you can, right? You can opt out. I remember being an option. You could opt out of the lesson.
But what we're talking about is when we were in the class, we were in 8th grade. It's so much that's already gone down in 8th grade that I'm talking about 4 and 5-year-olds.
No, I mean even in 7th grade. I remember it being an option. You can opt out of it.
Yeah. Well,
because
I don't know if it's like that anymore.
My teacher had interest in circumstances, and my mom was like, no.
And I'm trying to figure out if my school gave away.
What?
She had some interest in circumstances.
Oh, she had some interesting circumstances.
She had some interest in Periscope.
Hashtag Periscope.
But no, I don't remember if it was my school exactly, but I do know that people would tell me, "Oh, my school gives out condoms," and I don't know because I wasn't interested in that. So, but if that's the case, is that okay?
I take pictures of people's faces, man. Sean's face like, yeah, right.
Is that okay?
Ryan
Do it
had a
again?
bag.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I don't. That's the point. I don't know. It's a little crazy.
I think sex ed should be age appropriate. I think if a kid can, we got to come up with where a kid can handle that talk. You trying to say? Somebody said the age of what age was it again?
3 and 4.
first grade.
First grade. Like some kids don't even. That's not even in
grade
the
3 and 4.
Yeah, like
That's different.
oh, you said grade 3 and 4.
Yeah, grade 3
Oh,
and 4.
okay.
Yeah.
I just think you still trying to discover your body. Like you don't know what's going on with your body. So to tell somebody else about somebody else's body and you don't know nothing about your body is a bad body problem.
I mean, but it.
I got a question. I got a question for Sincere. Your wife teaches children around this age. What do you think she would say about that being, if someone introduced that as part of her lesson plan?
I always get in trouble whenever I speculate what my wife would say about anything. Let me try.
Periscope. We'll text her and get Periscope.
Yeah, I feel like I'll Periscope it, but yeah, I'm
All right, there was a piece of this that I think we're gonna use as our topic for the next one, and it's the gender identity part. We didn't talk about that, so when we come back, we'll deal with the gender identity because we were gonna talk about that anyway. You in the field with the track stars, Ryan Righteous, Sean Tanner, DJ Jeremiah. Let's go.
Yeah. Come on.